You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodgers for Black and White Sports, too. Well, we got a couple of different stories, both involving Aaron Rodgers, and one of them is kind of will blow your mind, involving UFOs. I didn't see this coming. And then we've got one where he took a blatant shot at Big Pharma, which I think is very timely, considering we're starting to get an election variant coming around when it comes to COVID. And it's starting to get a lot of publicity and starting to catch a lot of fire. And we know that Aaron Rodgers is not a big fan of the vax. And we also know exactly what happened involving Novak Djokovic, of course, trying to come into the country and play a tennis tournament and him not getting to, and all the crap involving the mandates. Aaron Rodgers has also been a very vocal supporter of Robert F. Kennedy. We know what his stances are on Big Pharma and COVID. So we will get to that, but first, let's get to this pretty wild UFO story in Aaron Rodgers that was just revealed during the finale of Hard Knocks, and that was last night. New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers claims he experienced a UFO sighting. In 2005, Rodgers, 39, said he was at a former Cal teammate's house, Steve Levy, in New Jersey shortly before he was taken by the Green Bay Packers in the first round of the 2005 NFL Draft. When the sighting occurred, Rodgers, who has publicly admitted to using the hallucinogen ayahuasca, said he was trying to sleep as he had a 5 a.m. wake-up call following the next day, but was disturbed by an alarm going off in the distance. Quote, "It didn't seem like it was normal, and I heard some rustling downstairs," Rodgers said on the season of finale of Hard Knocks. Let's just listen to this.
We had this great dinner at his house in Jersey. I was making my way to bed. I had like a 5 a.m. wake up. And I was getting down to bed. I heard this alarm in the distance going off. It just didn't seem like normal when I heard some rustling downstairs. So I got up, walked downstairs. It was a beautiful night. And Steve and his brother and I walked outside, and up in the clouds, you know, we heard this sound, and we saw this tremendously large object moving through the sky. And it was like a scene out of Independence Day when the ships are coming into the atmosphere and they're creating this like kind of explosion type fire in the sky.
Fire in the Sky is a good movie about aliens, by the way.
We just saw this incredibly large object and froze, as anybody would, because we didn't know what the hell was going on. And eventually it went out of sight, and nobody said a word.
Okay, so you heard what he said. They saw it, and nobody said a word. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Now, that, of course, is what a lot of people believe these things look like. And I did see a new story involving out of New England, I believe, where somebody said that around mid-August they found a shot a UFO or scenes of a UFO that was sort of looking at people down at a beach. Kind of interesting. We saw this incredibly large object. We froze, and as anybody would, because you know what the hell is going on, eventually it went out of sight. Nobody said a word. We just stood frozen. And about 30 seconds later, we heard a real recognizable sound of fighter jets that seemed to be chasing this object. Again, we just stood there in disbelief for another few minutes, and nobody said a word. We just looked at each other like, did we just see what we think we just saw? Rodgers said he checked the papers and watched the news in the following days, but nothing was mentioned. However, the experience piqued his interest in UFOs, leading him to do more research. Rodgers later discovered that the siren was from a nuclear plant around 9 miles away and claimed that UFOs are often linked to nuclear energy. Yeah, the theory is a lot of these sightings involve engines that have no actual, like, engine propulsion system in the way that we know about it. And yeah, I've been watching a lot of this UFO stuff. But they don't have engines. You don't see the fire coming out the back and yada, yada, yada. Right? And there's a theory that there's something nuclear going on there, or radiation may be part of it. You know, it's just a lot of craziness, you know, because nobody actually for sure knows. We just know all of a sudden, man, there sure seems like a lot of fire out there. Let's put it that way. Whatever in the hell it was, I don't know, but it was definitely identified. It was definitely flying. It was definitely a large object. The Jets quarterback is known for outlandish theories and techniques, opening up on his use of ayahuasca at the start of the last season, claiming it helped him get back-to-back MVP seasons in 2020 and 2021. He claimed he went into the dark, 90% retired, but decided he wasn't quite ready to call it a career, but he was ready to move on from Green Bay. He also posted a picture of Djokovic preparing to serve on his Instagram story and wrote, "No vax Djokovic," with an advert of Moderna crossed out in red on Sunday. There it is right there, folks. That is beautiful. Just cross that booger right on out of there. Says his bucket list was to witness Joker in person. Hashtag no vax Djokovic. I've said before, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I like Aaron Rodgers more now than I did a couple of years ago, to be honest. Yeah, it's funny how somebody, them trying to cancel somebody will make you actually get more interested to find out who they're about and what they're about. And he's an eccentric cat, but I kind of like that. It's different. And he doesn't just go along to get along, and I appreciate that. Djokovic even missed last year's U.S. Open because his vaccination status meant he could not enter the United States. But in May, the government lifted its requirement that all travelers entering the U.S. had to be vaccinated. The 39-year-old has had plenty of his own controversies regarding the vaccination status. He told the media he was immunized against the virus, but would later miss a game because he tested positive for COVID. By the way, you can have the actual vaccination and boosters, and as no surprise, you can test positive for COVID, it turns out. Oh, wait, that wasn't what we were led to believe? Okay, well, interesting. Very interesting. And the fact that the media came at Aaron Rodgers so hard over that really made me like him more. And then I saw him go on Joe Rogan and listen to some of the things he had to say, and was like, you know, all these years, I was a big Aaron Rodgers hater. Now, I'll be the first to say, you know, as far as his NFL status goes, a lot of people believe he's like a top 5 quarterback. I'm probably more in that top 15 kind of quarterback range because I think he needs more rings. He does. But I also think he wasn't always given everything he could get with Green Bay. Now, there were times where he acted like his Green Bay teams were dog shit when there was some real talent on those teams. But I think a lot of us believe, well, is Mike McCarthy, was he really sort of a great coach back then? And certainly the defenses in Green Bay weren't all they could have been cracked up to be, right? So, you know, it's going to be very interesting. This Jets team is loaded. It is. And I'm even more interested in the fact that, you know, he's decided to play what looks like, I think, at least 3 seasons here. And I've said I don't know that they win it this year, but I could see them winning it all next year, provided his health. And it does look like he's come back in really good condition. But if his health can hold up, I think next year and the year after, you better watch it. Aaron Rodgers might sneak another one in. And if he was to somehow mess around and get 2 more, wow. I mean, then you're talking all-time great, top 5, top 4, something like that with Aaron Rodgers. And I'm very interested in the UFO thing right now. So I found his words very interesting. I have not seen this season finale of Hard Knocks as of yet, but I am watching it. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I need to watch the last episodes. Get caught up before Monday night's big 9/11 game against the Bills. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.